Hey guys, how you going? Gilly here from Tactical Edge Hobbies. Now, if you don't know who I am or if you don't know what we sell, then you're in the wrong channel, because guys, what we deal with is with gel blasters. Now, there's a lot of people out there that actually don't know how a gel blaster works or how it operates. So I'm here today to show you step by step on how a gel blaster operates. So why don't we get cracking? Okay, so right here we have a gel blaster, okay? Now, I know it looks really realistic, but trust me, it's not, and it's 100% safe, okay? As long as you're wearing your eye protection as well while using this, and you're not pointing at someone who doesn't have eye protection as well, which is a big no-no, all right? So this gel blaster here, now this runs a 7.4 volt battery, okay? So it's battery operated. Now the battery is actually housed right here in the actual buffer tube. The way to actually obtain the battery is there's a little lever bit right there, if you can see. If you pull that down, you'll be able to actually pull the buttstock off, okay, like so. And as you can clearly see, here's where the battery is, okay? So you connect the battery and you just tuck it in nicely. And then all you're going to do is then slide on the buttstock and then pull that lever down, and it'll slide back on. Now, to adjust the buttstock for your length of your arms, all you gotta do is that same lever is pressed up and you'll be able to adjust. And don't worry, it won't slide off. It has a locking mechanism at one point, which is good. Okay, now, for those of you that don't know, this right here is a magazine, okay? So the magazine is what holds the gels. Now, there's a lot of different ways to fill a magazine because a lot of magazines are different. But the one thing that's always remains the same is that there's always a latch to open it up to fill the gels. You never fill the gels through the little feeding hole, okay? Reason why is because it's actually it's a counteracting method. There's a little mechanical wheel. If you feed it through the feeding hole, what happens is that the mechanical wheel won't be able to actually feed the gels in correctly and you won't get any shots out, okay? So just remember, never feed it through that feeding hole. Always find the latch. Now in this particular blaster, the latch will be located on the side right here, as so, where you will fill your gel balls, okay? Now, the other important thing is when you're filling your magazine, okay, is make sure that when you're making your gels and you've stored them in your speed loader or whatever container you're holding your gels, make sure that you get rid of the excess water first before filling up your magazines. Reason was because you don't want water in your magazine. Because there's a little motor and there are some wires inside the magazine, you don't want to rust out the wires or burn out the motor, okay? Which does happen if there's excess water inside the magazine. So it's always good to shake out the excess water in your speed loader prior to filling this up, okay? And once you're done playing, what you need to do is never leave gel balls inside the magazine as well. Open that little lid up and give it a good shake out. Now, after you've done that and you've emptied this section here first, what you need to do is look for the little latch on the actual feeding hole, okay? With a pen or sometimes you got like a little latch on the side that you can pull back. What you want to do is you just want to pull back that little latch and just tip that down. Whatever gels are primed will be released and then you're free of your magazine full of gels. Now, the reason why is because if you leave gels in there, they tend to shrink and they'll clog up the internals. Then you will have a faulty mag and you don't want that, obviously. Now, okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is what's called a selected fire switch, okay? You have your safety, your semi-automatic and your full auto as I'm turning, okay? Now, right now I've got it on safety so I can't activate the trigger. Once I select it onto semi, I've got my single shot, as you can see. And then I switch it over to full and it's full auto. Okay, try to get into the habit of always leaving it on safety when you're not actually using the blaster, okay? Just in case, if God forbid there's a rogue gel ball inside, you don't want to be pulling that trigger around if there's any mates not wearing any glasses, because obviously it will you will shoot them accidentally, and yeah, that's the last thing you want to do, okay? So another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the battery. Now, The battery, even though I've showed you where the battery is housed, the battery is really important because what we ask you is never run the battery completely flat, whatever you do. So what you want to do is once you notice that the blaster is starting to slow down in its performance, it's losing its power, it's time to take the battery out of the blaster. Never charge the battery inside the blaster, okay? That's a big no-no. Now what you want to do is most of the times you'll get a USB 7.4 volt charger. Just connect that USB end to your mobile phone actual dock. As most mobile phones these days, you can disconnect the cord. Just plug that in and then charge. Never charge your battery on a laptop or a cigarette USB because you won't get the correct voltage, okay? And never actually charge these overnight, okay? So please be mindful of that. You always have to observe your battery. Now, the most, I guess, time that you need to charge a battery full is about 4 hours roughly. But the USB also has a green and red light. Once your actual USB goes all green, it's all good to go and you can go play, all right? We do sell B3 chargers as well that has a 2-cell or 3-cell indicator light, which is a good thing because that way at least you know that both cells on a 7.4 volt battery will actually be charged equally. So it's definitely something that you should take consideration of if you ever want to charge your battery the proper way. The B3 charger is available here at Tactical Edge and it's roughly about the $20 mark, okay? Now, apart from that, charging handle, most of the times the blasters don't have a primer, but a primer is something that a switch that you pull and it primes the gels ready to get shot out. Like for instance, the KM10 doesn't have a primer. But for instance, the Chris Vector V2, that does have a primer. So it's best to actually ask the salesperson if that particular blaster you're looking at has a primer, because it is a pretty cool feature. But apart from that, guys, that's all you really need to know. But of course, with the new laws that have been introduced, please remember that anytime you purchase a gel blaster, you have to carry it in a bag that has a lockable, that it's lockable, okay? Never travel with a gel blaster without being in a carry bag because that's against the law now. And please, if you're at home, store these in a bag or keep them in a locked room at all times, all right? Anyway, guys, hopefully this has been informative. My name is Gilly, as always, and you stay fresh, you stay blasting. Until then, I'll catch you guys very, very soon.